The company's capital was divided between two classes of shares. One class was worth 2 shillings and the other was worth 10 shillings. Both classes carried 1 vote. A resolution was passed which had the effect of subdividing the shares valued at 10 shillings each into shares of 2 shillings each, and each new share was to carry 1 vote. The resolution had basically increased the voting powers by 5 times of shareholders who had previously held the 10 shillings shares. The company changed its articles by special resolution in a general meeting, allowing existing shareholders to offer any shares to persons outside the company. Mr. Mallard wished to transfer his shares for 6 shillings to a Mr. Sheckman in return for £5,000 and his resignation from the board. Greenhalgh wished to prevent control of the company going away and argued that the article change was invalid, specifying that it was a fraud on him and the other minority shareholders. Greenhalgh also objected to the subdivision of the 10 shilling shares on the grounds that its effect was to vary his class rights. As prior to the resolution, Greenhalgh held the bulk of the 2 shilling shares and therefore had control of over 40% of the membership votes, whereas after the resolution had been passed, his voting powers were reduced to less than 10% of the votes. The court held that a variation of Greenhalgh's 2 shilling shares had not taken place, as the resolution subdividing the 10 shilling shares had not specifically altered Greenhalgh's rights. Greenhalgh still had the same quantity of 2 shilling shares, and each share still carried 1 vote. Lord Evershed stated that the £5,000 payment was not a fraud on the minority, as none of the majority voters were voting for a private gain. The alteration of the articles was perfectly legitimate because it was done properly.